Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of oil and natural gas. It is probably one of my favorite sectors, if not my favorite at the moment, for how cheap some of these companies are in relationship to the price of oil. And oil is looking quite strong. Inventories are very low, so I suspect that oil is going to have a very good year this year. So if we were to dive in, we'll look at the charts here, give you my financial opinion. This is West Texas oil. We've been moving on up to the upside here. It's looking quite good, and we finished pretty strong. We're almost at 80 bucks. So that's very good day today for oil. For natural gas, we just had a small down day today, minus 0.52%, and we've just been tracking sideways. We do have some smaller or some larger sell-off days in here. Mixed in with some okay buying pressure. So it's a battle going on right here. XOP, I do own this one. It's right at resistance. This thing is going to look absolutely fantastic when it breaks this thing right where it's at. So I would suspect XOP, which is an ETF, to do very well coming up once we break through here. You could see it break up, do a retest, and then gone. So I think it looks really good. SM Energy is also looking good. It's at its neckline, just above its neckline, and it's doing everything. It's doing what it's supposed to do: is break the neckline and then go. So that one's looking good. CDEV on a long-term perspective looks absolutely excellent. We've got this resistance coming up. We broke to the upside. Sure, it can bounce around up here, but I think the overall trend will be higher. Crew Energy moving sideways. We're in this channel still. It's getting all channeled out. A little update today. Callum Petroleum. Again, we are doing an inverted shoulder, head, shoulder, and we're still knocking out that shoulder. Athabasca Oil up 4.3%. We are still below this resistance line. We got to break through it. And that resistance line is a neckline for an inverted head and shoulders like the other guys have, in a massive pattern coming on down here. Recap, a little bit of a small down day today. I've been waiting for this thing to rocket higher at some point. Big up days, small down days. The characteristics are all still there for a move to move on up. So I'm just holding on. Northern Oil and Gas. This one went up quite dramatically, 6.5%. It's a pretty strong day today. Looking at it from a weekly candlestick perspective, it still looks very strong coming out of this descending wedge. And then we've got a massive descending wedge here that we're breaking. So this has a lot of upside potential for Northern Oil and Gas. Crescent Point Energy Group, we are coming on up on a weekly candlestick basis. It is rocketing higher. This is an inverted head and shoulders pattern. The projected move is $9.30. Everything looks quite good for Crescent Point. GTE, a little bit of a small update today. We broke back above this resistance line. We're now using it as support, and we're probably going to continue to head higher and just let it make you money. Just let it go up. Tellurian, small update today. Again, we broke to the downside. We've been chopping sideways for the most part. PADC is one that I did load into here. I'm going to hold on to it. It was up 5.5% today. This is a big old pattern that is coiling up for a big move, hopefully to the upside. If oil goes up, I would suspect that PADC would go up quite dramatically at some point, probably in a big short squeeze is my guess. Oasis continues to move on higher. It's grinding up right below this line I threw in there, so that's looking good. Comstock Resources. We could see a little bit of selling pressure here from yesterday's big sell-off. Sometimes when these are slanted upward, you'll get a downward movement, and I don't know if that downward movement's done yet. Sandridge selling off a little bit today. We're coming on down, a little bit of a sell-off, and I would suspect that this does well over a long period of time, but we've got some short-term selling pressure on our hands. Ring Energy looking okay, 5.7% up. coming into, it looks like a little bit of resistance. That's why the opening and closing prices contracted today, and we had a sell-off yesterday. So a little bit of resistance. Surge Energy is looking okay. We're in this big old pattern. It's been heading higher. That's one that, you know, looks pretty good on a long-term perspective. And then Tamarack Valley Energy broke to the upside of its pattern here, and we're moving on up 4.15%. You know, I think this is going to look pretty good on a long-term perspective if you hold on. So we'll go through the energy service. I'm kind of ripping through these. This is OIH, and OIH looks really good. It's coiled up in the tip of this pattern here. So that looks good. TTI looks good. It's in this big old pattern, bouncing around. We've got Transocean, which is on the shoulder of an inverted head and shoulders pattern that could break to the upside at any point. We've got PUMP, ProPetro Holding Corporation. We're breaking this pattern right now to the upside for probably a big break to the upside. So PUMP would be one to look at. EXTN, another one that's looking very low right down here. Sometimes they get resistance here and they kind of bop out below and then they take off. Is that the case? I don't know. We'll find out. Valeris is one that's breaking its all-time highs after bankruptcy. So that one's doing quite well. Looking at TDW, it's another one that's coming right up into the corner of a pattern. And there we are coming up to that corner. And I don't see why we wouldn't break to the upside here for Tidewater. NEX has been absolutely explosive. Few trading days, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was at 356. And now it's at 539 in 1, 2, 3, 4 trading days. This is a short squeeze. People are piling into it, and it's broken its downtrend line. So that one looks really good. You might see a return move eventually to the top of this breakout line. CHX is another one. It's coming through its downtrend. We're coming on up on the right-hand side, trying to break out eventually. This is Cactus Incorporated. Again, we've broken through. Hold on, let me go here. We've broken through this line here, resistance line. If we zoom on out, there's one big old line going across, and we're breaking it to the upside with higher lows, all stepping into this resistance line, probably for a big move to the upside. Oceaneering International, this guy's been firming up recently, and we're still in a downtrend at the moment, but there's higher lows all stepping up into it. Noble Energy, this one was bankrupt. This could be a good one for a long-term hold. For a long-term investment. And then Helix Energy's it's down here. It broke this downtrend recently. That might be one to look at for a very large descending wedge pattern, which would have a big move to the upside once it breaks, whenever that may be. But you got to be extra patient in it. So that's what I've got for today, guys. That's the oil exploration and energy service companies. I do think that this sector is going to do very well under an inflationary environment. That's when money rotates into this stuff. It's also going to blow up the 10-year yields to the upside, I think. So these are the spots that I would be looking at, are oil and natural gas and the energy service companies, to find value in the market in these market conditions. So I'm very heavily weighted in these. I do own quite a bit. I own a lot of the companies that I've gone over, and I'm just holding on at this point, watching them make me money. I mean, literally, that's all I'm doing. I'm just going to watch them continue to move up. We could see some, spells where this thing oscillates all over the place. That's quite normal with any market. But yeah, this is one of my favorite sectors. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.